What's going on, my friends? Chris here. I want to bring you all an update today of Bitcoin. And what we're going to be looking at are the Bitcoin topping indicators on Glassnode. And we're also going to take a look at the wallet so we can kind of see what the whales have been doing during this correction that we've been in now for almost a month or so. So this is going to be an important update. I also want to know what you guys think down low. Just put bull or bear. Are we in a bull market? Are we in a bear market? I would love your guys' opinion, and then I'll give my opinion at the end of this video. So let's dig into this here. So guys, basically, first one I want to start out with here is the reserve risk ratio. And what it says is reserve risk is defined as the price/HODL bank. It is used to assess the confidence of long-term holders relative to the price of the native coin at any given point. When confidence is high and price is low, there is an attractive risk-to-reward ratio to invest. And what I want to point out here is when we're taking a look at this for Bitcoin, each time we've had our bull markets, we have gotten up into the red here and we've peaked. Where we're at right now, when many people are saying, you know, we're at the top of the bull market, that 69,000 is it. When I take a look at this here, even taking a look at where we're at, guys, we're almost back in the green right now. And typically when we're in the green, those are good buying opportunities for Bitcoin. That basically the prices went down too far too fast. So for us to be ending right now would be a little bit uncharacteristic of Bitcoin, and obviously anything can happen in this space. Guys, this is just pointing the data out here, and we're going to go through and we're basically going to get a determination of if we think we're in a bull or a bear market. So right now when I'm looking at the reserve risk, we're not up high. Even when we got up to our 69,000, we were nowhere close to this red up here. So that shows me that potentially we still could have more time once we figure out the bottom of this correction before we start working our way back up. And it's going to take time. These things take time, but this also is Bitcoin. And when Bitcoin wants to move, whether it be to the upside or downside, it can move 10 to 15% in a day very easily. So just always be prepared when we're looking at things like this. We're almost back into the green now. So that's going to be the reserve risk. So that I would say is a little bit more bullish. And we're going to write that down here. So I would say a little bit more bullish since we're close to this green area as opposed to up in the red. The next one I want to take a look at, we're just going to kind of rip through some of my favorite ones. I want to go to the PL multiple. And for this one, same concept. When we get up into the red, like we have here in each bull market besides this one, that's typically when we get all that selling pressure and the bull market comes to an end. We still have not hit that red, not saying we have to. We got close here when we got up to 65,000 back in April and March. But right now, we're basically floating between the green and the red. So we're more neutral for the PL multiple, however that's pronounced. So excuse me if I did that. We're going to put neutral for that one. So the next one I want to take a look at here is the MVR. Let me see here, guys. That one's for Litecoin. So let me go back. We're going to get this one for Bitcoin. Should pop up here in a second. Okay, this is what I want to see here. All right, so this one as well. If we zoom in a little bit here, so in the red, right up here, we've always had our bull markets. Those have been our bull market tops. We've actually got outside of the red. So in this instance, back in March and April, we did touch the red. Got much lower, but we did touch the red here. But what you can see is if we zoom in, right down here is going to be our green. Up here is going to be our red. We're floating in between right now. So we're also going to say a little bit more neutral on that one. Okay, and as we work our way through this, I'm just writing this down so that we can go back out at the very end and talk about if we believe this is a bull or a bear market, or if we still have more time in this market given the price and where we're at right now. So if we get out again, I want to show this one to you. This is important. It's the net unrealized profit and loss. And this really does a great job at showing emotions. Down here in this pink, this is capitulation. Up here in the blue, when you get these blue tops, that's euphoria. And typically when you see those blue tops, time to get out. So right now, with this cycle, we have gotten up into the green, which is the belief area. We have not on this hit euphoria. So that's something we still could look for down the road. We've had a lot of institutional adoption. We've seen this space grow immensely. So yet again, I think it would be a little bit uncharacteristic if we didn't go up there and tap that blue at some point in this cycle, but it doesn't have to happen. It's just something that has not happened yet. So if we do get one more big leg to the upside, which could take the next, month to 4 months, that potentially could put us up into that euphoric area. Might just take a little longer than many of us thought. So right now we are still in the green. So we're in that belief stage. If we start dropping down into the brown, we'll be getting into anxiety stage, which is getting closer. You know, guys, we might actually have touched it here. Yep, we just entered the brown. So right there, starting to feel that anxiety. The last time we started to feel that anxiety, we double bottomed and then we ripped forward. So stepping back, can really take a look at that. So we are starting to enter that anxiety. With Bitcoin, I do believe the fear index is really low, guys. What's it, 20? Something like that, 23, right in that area right now. I checked it yesterday, so I'm not exactly sure where it's at right now. But looking at this, we're starting to get into that anxiety. So we're going to see if we can flip that back into the belief here in the days and weeks to come. Now, if we step out, another one that I wanted to take a look at for Bitcoin, which I think is going to be important, this is going to be our realized loss and our realized profit. So let me get into this. Guys, I'm still learning Glassnode a lot. Just bear with me here. Okay. So first we're going to go with our realized profit. And for our realized profit, typically you can see these really big spike ups. This can help mark tops for us. In 2017, we got up to around a little over 4 billion for realized profit, and then we had that major drop. If we zoom in for this cycle, we've got up high a few times. We've got up to around, which obviously the market's getting bigger, around like 5.5, almost 6 billion. And then when we hit our price up here, this was around $65,000. You can see how many people were in profit, and that was a little bit over $6 billion, and then we had our major drop. So whenever, looking back, guys, this is one that I really want to pay more attention to, that I'm learning it. Whenever you see that profit really getting up high over, 3 billion, 4 billion, that's when you really want to start protecting those gains, because most likely you're going to have, a 20 to 40% correction. And that's just how it happens in this game. So this is something we're definitely going to be looking at in the future. Next one, I want to take a look at the realized loss, because this can also give us a little bit of a clue as well. So if we do our realized loss, we had some of our biggest losses on this major dump here back in April and May. And we ended up, let's see here, realized loss was 4.50 billion. So huge one. We continued to go down. We hit another about 3.5 billion right there. So that's always going to be important. When you see those big climax spikes, it might mean we're getting closer to the bottom. You can see right back in here when we had that, back in March 2020, we had that big spike. And that there was around, let's see, about 1.5 billion. And then this last one that we really got shaken out down to, what we've been currently dealing with, we're at about 3 billion. Let's zoom in a little bit more. So that came when price was at 48,962. We had a realized loss of over $3 billion. So looking at this could potentially show that maybe we're getting closer to at least having some type of reaction or reversal out of here. Because this is also significant that we had that realized loss. Had that big dump, it really flushed people out. A lot of people who were over leveraged, and now we can heal a little bit. But you can see stepping back, this sometimes can really help mark those bottoms for you. And it looks like we've really had a big ratio there that I want to pay attention to. And also, if you guys get some from these videos, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We're going to get into the addresses next. So let's take a look at the wallets for Bitcoin. Why I'm focusing on Bitcoin, guys, right now, Bitcoin and Ethereum, those are the things that are going to drive the market, and we definitely have to pay attention to them. So right now, let's start with 10,000. And I just want to rip through these quick. Really value you guys' time. All right, so right now, for the whales, if we zoom in, we had a high for our whale wallets. It was around 92, and price was at 53,700. Right now we are at 89 wallets, and we're at right around that, what's it, guys, 48,000, right in that range right now. So we have had a little bit of selling pressure there from 10,000 more, unless they're just distributing into other wallets, which is always a possibility. But addresses with 1,000 or more, right here, this has been more so flat. We were up to, when price was about 57,000, we had 2,167 wallets, and right now we're at 2,146. If we take a look at 100 or more, same deal, a little bit of selling here. Guys, price was at about 50,000. We had 16,140. Getting a little bit of selling here, 16,071 with our current price, right around that $48,000. And if we take a look at 10 or more, Also had a little bit of a sell-off here as well. Take a look at one or more. A little bit of an M pattern here, so we want to watch that. So we have had some selling off of the wallets. Nothing super crazy, guys, in terms of the whale wallets. You can even see addresses with 1,000 or more here. We haven't changed a ton. It's at 0. And then if we take a look at our number of whales here, it's actually went up a little bit. We're at 1,818. Hash rate, for the most part, has been looking pretty good. So, you know, when I'm stepping back and I'm looking at these things, it just doesn't look like when we were up at this 69,000, we're in overbought territories really for anything on any of these topping indicators. And obviously markets can change, the diminishing cycles. But I'm looking at this, I feel like this is a really nasty correction, and it's going to take time to heal from this. But ultimately, we're still in a bull market. We're still up above our 200-day moving average, which is important right now. As of right now, which things could change, we were trading, or we had last week's candle close up above the 50-week moving average as well. So we need to close up above that, or that could cause us to drop down a little bit lower, maybe to $40,000, see if we can find support there. But there's still some structure that's intact when you're looking at it for Bitcoin, and those higher lows on the macro sense are still coming in right now, as long as we don't lose that $40,000 range. So I think these corrections are harsh, they're nasty, but we are still in a bull market right now. You know, guys, obviously anything can change at any moment, but in my opinion, looking at everything, we're still in one right now. We're getting to those critical stages where we could transition to a bear market if some of these areas don't hold up. But I think right now we are still in a bull market, and we still may, in the next months to come, have one more leg to the upside before we start entering into that bear market. But nobody knows, guys, and that's why I don't really do a lot of the price predictions a ton and everything, because this market, there's so many outside factors that can affect it. So I hope you get some from this. God bless you all. Let me know down low. Take care.